Part 2. Scaling beyond my first $100,000. Step 1. Learning to leverage what I already had. After reaching my first $100,000, I realized that the real work was just beginning. That milestone proved something important. I could earn money the hard way, and I could endure struggle. But now I had to learn how to make my money work for me. I started looking at opportunities differently. Instead of trading my time for money, I focused on leveraging my skills, knowledge, and capital. I reminded myself constantly, I need to work smarter, not just harder. I invested in things I understood, avoided distractions, and said no to opportunities that didn't fit my long-term plan. I also learned the importance of patience in scaling. Just because I had $100,000 didn't mean I could get rich overnight. I reminded myself that compounding takes time. I had to wait, observe, and act when the conditions were right. Impatience could wipe out years of careful effort. I used this period to study businesses, markets, and people more deeply. I applied lessons from Charlie Munger. Don't just look for cheap assets. Look for great businesses and hold them for the long term. I began building my mental checklist, asking myself, is this investment durable? Is it rational? Can I understand it? This step was about turning money into options. Every dollar I allocated carefully was a tool for growth, not just a number in my account. I learned that leverage, wisely applied, multiplies both wealth and knowledge. Step 2. Avoiding the temptation to spend or show off. Even after hitting $100,000, I felt the temptation to spend, to upgrade, to show off. Friends were buying new cars, going on vacations, and flaunting lifestyles I had denied myself for years. But I reminded myself, the early struggle isn't over just because the milestone is reached. I made a conscious choice. I would continue living below my means. Every time I resisted buying something unnecessary, I reinforced my discipline. I reminded myself that true wealth isn't about appearances. It's about freedom, options, and security. I also realized that spending recklessly after small success is one of the fastest ways to destroy momentum. I had worked too hard to let temporary satisfaction undo years of effort. I learned to enjoy my money quietly, intentionally, and strategically. I even set rules for myself. No purchase without asking, does this move me closer to my long-term goals? If the answer was no, I walked away. This habit became second nature, and I realized that self-control compounds faster than money itself. Step 3. Doubling down on learning and mentorship. Reaching $100,000 taught me the value of knowledge, but scaling beyond that taught me the value of guidance and mentorship. I sought out people wiser than me, people who had made mistakes I wanted to avoid, and people whose judgment I could trust. I asked questions constantly. I listened more than I spoke. I reflected on every piece of advice before acting, and I applied it carefully. This step wasn't about copying anyone. It was about leveraging their experience to accelerate my own learning curve. I also continued studying relentlessly. I read financial statements, market reports, and case studies. I analyzed businesses I admired, learning how the great ones were structured, managed, and scaled. I reminded myself, I need to think in decades, not months. I need to avoid the pitfalls that destroy the unwary. Mentorship and learning together became my secret weapon. I realized I could stand on the shoulders of giants and see opportunities I wouldn't have spotted alone. Step 4. Managing risk and avoiding mistakes. As I grew wealthier, I faced new challenges. The stakes were higher. A single mistake could wipe out years of effort. I realized that avoiding stupidity is more valuable than chasing brilliance. I became obsessive about risk management. I asked myself, what could go wrong? How can I protect myself? Am I being rational, or am I being greedy? Every investment, every decision, every action had to pass this test. I also learned to diversify intelligently. I didn't just throw money at anything that seemed promising. I built a portfolio of knowledge, skills, and assets that complemented each other. I avoided the trap of thinking one success could make up for careless mistakes. I remind myself constantly that most people fail because they act emotionally, not rationally. I worked hard to stay calm under pressure, disciplined in action, and patient in growth. These habits became my armor against the volatility of life and markets. Step 5. Thinking big and long-term. After the first $100,000, I realized that the real power of money lies in thinking long-term and at scale. I began asking myself, what can I do today that my future self will thank me for in 10, 20, 30 years? I shifted my mindset from surviving to building generational wealth. I focused on opportunities that could compound over decades, not just months. I reminded myself constantly that real wealth comes from patience, judgment, and consistency. I also started mentoring others. Sharing lessons I had learned reinforced my own understanding and kept me humble. I realized that true success isn't measured by dollars alone. It's measured by the impact I can have and the knowledge I can pass on. I kept investing in myself, in my skills, and in my judgment. I kept learning from mistakes, from books, and from people wiser than me. And slowly, the snowball effect began to take hold. My decisions became sharper. My confidence grew. My wealth grew not just in numbers, but in capability and freedom. Step 6. Maintaining humility and focus. Even as my net worth grew, I reminded myself constantly, wealth is a tool, not a destination. I refused to become complacent or arrogant. I stayed humble, focused, and aware of my limitations. I continued to read, reflect, and plan. I surrounded myself with people smarter than me, and I never stopped questioning my assumptions. I understood that the moment I stop learning is the moment I start losing. This mindset allowed me to stay grounded while scaling my wealth. I celebrated milestones quietly, focusing more on the journey than the destination. I learned that discipline, focus, and humility are what allow money to multiply safely and sustainably. Step 7. Reinforcing my mental framework. Finally, I realized that the real growth wasn't just financial. It was mental. I strengthened my judgment, patience, resilience, and discipline. I trained my mind to think rationally, act consistently, and endure challenges calmly. I reminded myself every day, the first $100,000 was hard. The next million will be easier if I apply the lessons I've learned. I had built a framework that allowed me to scale with confidence, minimize mistakes, and maximize opportunity. I also learned that money isn't the end. It's a reflection of how well I manage my mind, decisions, and habits. I understood that true wealth is the combination of knowledge, discipline, patience, and judgment, not just a number on a bank statement. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe, like, and share.